Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maria, and this video is going to be for you if you feel like you have been learning a lot about yourself over the past 6 years, 7 years, a really long time, but you've just been learning and gathering more information about your trauma, your patterns, the ideas around how you operate in connection, the relationship you have with yourself, what you believe love is, what you believe trust looks like. And the reason why this video is for you is that I truly believe the energy today is bringing us into a place of initiation almost. Like there's this element of needing to recognize how far we've come, but also needing to recognize the absolute I'm not saying this in a negative sense, but the absolute weight and burden of the energy that has karmically come up again and again and again. And the reason why I feel like this is coming up, and I know I am also experiencing this, but there's almost this element of, full unconditional love for self, recognizing that you do not lose yourself when you allow yourself, I keep saying that word, but you don't lose you, and you don't lose love in the presence of being able to come to terms with and acknowledge the hardship and the energy that is dense and, might I say, dark or shadowy or possessive, jealous, resentful, angry, and just bringing attention to the feeling of that energy. Not that you have to sit in it, but there's something there that's needing to be integrated, because it's almost as if for the past 6 years that you've been learning, now is the time to actually integrate that and act accordingly. And I know I've been saying that in the readings for the past couple days, in the sense of the time is now, the seeds have been planted, but now we also have to take accountability for our actions and our choices and the way that we're moving through life. And I feel like that today is coming to an absolute don't forget to acknowledge the almost the grossness of the energy that you've had to work through. Not that it's disappearing and not that you have to do anything. It's just there's an energy of being able to recognize that energy now and do differently. Let's see what comes through. It's very complicated, and it's very karmic in the sense of you may have witnessed multiple relationships in your life showing you this energy. You're bringing forth this energy, and there's an element of grief and confusion, ambiguity, because you don't have all the answers. And now it's the energy is asking you not to seek answers, not to seek the validation to be right, but instead just validating the experiences that you've had so that you can approach them with an awareness, with the awareness that you've gathered throughout the years. Because the cycle isn't going to repeat, but that doesn't mean that the energy won't present itself. It's just asking you to bring your awareness to it and recognize you're not going to lose yourself in it anymore. Let's look at overall energies, yeah. Overall energies surrounding us. Yeah, that solidness of the King of Pentacles. Okay, I think this came up a couple days ago in a reading. It was the last longer reading I did, but this energy of we already know, we've learned, but now we're integrating. Now we are embodying the inner union of the metaphysical, the intuition, the feeling, the unseen, the insight, the visions, the connection to God's source universe with our physical reality. And they are starting to collide. They are starting to ask us to be an integrated version of everything that we said that we've wanted to be and where we've wanted to go, the future that we want. We are having to act in accordance to that. Not to prove ourselves, not to try to heal by changing situations. It's almost this awareness of, like when to stop investing, when to have honest communication, honest conversations, honest about what we want. And it's tricky because these conversations could also be like, the truth of the matter is I'm feeling a little uncomfortable in this connection, but I want you in my life. So can we make this effort to make this happen? Like, even that transparency and honesty within ourselves can be transferred into our connections too. Because pain from relationships or grief from relationships goes to also show us that we actually might not be finished with that connection. And not to say that we chase relationships that are not meant for us or that can't meet us there. But if there is an element that we still want that these connections, or we want a relationship with someone and we haven't made that known, and instead we're just judging the trajectory of the relationship based on like conversations that have went unsaid, that's something to keep in mind as well. But also, when you know, and that's the part of inner trust, right? And self-trust, knowing when we're being guided, knowing when the energies of manipulation or that darkness, I guess, is present, so that we can integrate our knowledge and our understanding of that energy and act accordingly. What is our current energy? Yeah, okay, so 6 of Cups, 7 of Pentacles. This is literally the karmic energy of connection. The 6 of Cups, it's like very much like from childhood, recognizing where you've seen this energy play out. And for me, it's the energy of jealousy, manipulation, control, walking, like having to be somebody that is not fully expressed in order to make other people comfortable. And whatever that looks like for you, however that's showing up, for me, it has shown up in multiple like family members or close family members. It's showed up in partnerships and also in friendships. So it's just like recently where I'm recognizing like, oh my gosh, this energy is a lot deeper than I anticipated it being. Like, I saw it and I recognized it, but I didn't realize how deep it actually went and ingrained into me. And this is the energy of like almost that recognition of that. And then the 7 of Pentacles being like, okay, I'm going to foster this energy with love. I'm not going to judge it. I'm not going to allow it to manipulate me into being a different version of myself, or even being like a version of myself that's more negative or pessimistic, because I've done that in the past too, where I've judged connections without being honest with myself about them, or honest with the other person. And so it's just the element of taking this King of Pentacles overall energy and applying it now to our awareness. It's the combination of being able to integrate our feminine and our masculine together, even when times and energies are tougher to move through. Unconditional love. Okay, energy of the recent past. 4 of Wands. This is like feeling very much like you've really been focusing on your own security, your own stability when it comes to who you are, what you create, what your innate value is as a person. You have a solid foundation of that. So moving forward and managing your own self, like protection or boundaries or things like that, are going to come a bit more naturally, but you still have to give yourself time and compassion and flexibility, because you're still practicing, right? This is a different version of you than has been present in the past. Okay, near future, please. So this near future energy is the Queen of Cups, Knight of Cups. This is bringing forth a sense of magnetism when it comes to your own emotional fulfillment, your own ability to validate your intuition, to validate the energies at play for yourself. And instead of questioning your reality based on what you feel, you're instead saying, oh, I felt this before, so I'm going to move accordingly, rather than, oh, but this person looks like, or it seems like maybe I haven't done enough to like balance out the situation, or maybe if I give a little bit more, this might balance out, or maybe it'll be different. Maybe I need to have that one last moment or conversation. And sometimes you don't. Sometimes you don't. And it's about trusting that part of yourself that is going to be able to receive the feeling, receive the insight, receive the knowing. I don't know, it keeps coming through, like it's a feeling. I think it's a feeling. When you feel the energy, when you, I don't know, some sort of familiar feeling, you're going to be able to offer yourself the emotional validation of that. And you're working on that. That is actively happening. Unseen energy is at play. Unseen energies, I think that there's an element of our inner masculine, so the part of us that wants to act in accordance with our boundaries, wants us to remind ourselves of our innate values so that we can determine where we want to invest our energy. That inner masculine piece is also knowledgeable, so remembering that like our inner masculine is just as connected to the energies and to God, source, universe, intuition, grounded in earth, timing, knowing, just as much as our inner feminine and our high priestess energy is. So I got the King of Swords, high priestess, but there's something about our inner masculine needing to also grieve, also be received by the feminine energy. So in that regard, it's like our inner masculine, if we're not paying attention, can be going through really, really difficult times, really difficult feelings, really difficult understandings, or confusion, or grief, or feelings of abandonment, because the feminine, yes, is in charge of holding the vision, holding the truth, just as much as the masculine is. But if we abandon our inner masculine's ability to also be validated in the experience, so the experience of like, for example, okay, but it doesn't seem like the best example I can give is when our inner masculine sometimes struggles with the idea of our physical reality not matching how we feel. And so we need to also validate the fact that our masculine energy is watching reality play out, and it also needs to be validated in what it's seeing. That's how that's coming across. So just reminding ourselves of that we still need to hear that part of ourselves as well. Like the part of it that's like maybe feeling a lack of security, or a lack of recognition, a lack of appreciation. Like those are things that we also need to be able to acknowledge and not have to use our intuition or our inner feminine to kind of overshadow those fears and insecurities as well. All right, let's ask if there's anything else we need to know. Yeah, okay. Four of Cups, Seven of Swords. Give yourself the space to reconnect to yourself, whether that's through allowing your thoughts to be heard. Like, I think that there's always so much focus on meditating and like getting rid of our thoughts, but there's also so much recognition in like just listening to what our thoughts have to say without feeling like we're gonna lose ourselves, right? And that just seems to be a really big thing. So if you haven't allowed yourself to sit down, listen to the thoughts that you have, and feel comfortable and safe in doing so, think about practicing that, because I think that inner voice, or the inner like critic or inner manager wants to be heard. And it's important that we practice doing that without feeling like it's going to lead us into something painful. That just seems really important. So give yourself the space. And unfortunately, it's not space in like, oh, like grab yourself some snacks, watch some TV. It's give yourself space to actually hear yourself. All right, well, that's what I have for you today. I do want to do another inner, like, masculine feminine reading, so maybe I'll do that tomorrow. But for today, this seems like a really potent message for those that are currently working through this element of integration and inner union and connecting our inner knowing to the actions that we're taking. So please use this information as it applies to you, and whatever resonates, resonates. And I am sending you so much love. I will talk to you soon.